Hello everybody, today back in another video. Alright, my tennis fans on the roll. We had 128 players when this Wimbledon tournament started 12 days ago. And now we have 4 left men standing. And we are not surprised who those 4 left men standing are. We more or less expected this. I for sure expected 3 of them to be here. Which are, of course, the world number 1, Jannik Sinner, the world number 2, Carlos Alcaraz. And the world number 6, Novak Djokovic. When it comes to Taylor Fritz, I actually, when I did my top 8 favorite list 2 weeks ago, I actually first put Taylor Fritz's name as my 4th favorite. You have seen that video 2 weeks ago, my top 8 favorite list. I actually put Taylor Fritz first, and then I said to myself, I will go out of my comfort zone here and change my 4th pick here and put Dan Medvedev there instead. I actually did that. But first I put Taylor Fritz's name, which was a mistake to change that. It was a wrong decision to make. Anyway, nevertheless, Taylor Fritz has come through to this semi-final instead. Am I surprised? Absolutely not. Even though he almost was knocked out in the first round against Petr Pericard, where he was 2 points away of losing in that 4th set when Petr Pericard was 5-1 or 5-2 up in that 4th set tiebreak. Anyway, but Taylor Fritz, he hang on there and won that battle in 5 sets. And then in the second round as well, if I'm not mistaken, against Diallo, Taylor Fritz went 5 sets there as well, came through that one as well. And then after that, Taylor Fritz has not been close to losing and has won his matches after his first 2 rounds in the comfortable way. So Taylor Fritz is in the semi-final and will face Carlos Alcaraz in that semi-final. And let's start talking about that semi-final first between Taylor Fritz and Carlos Alcaraz, and then finish off with Djokovic versus Jannik Sinner. So Taylor Fritz will face, like I said, Carlos Alcaraz in the semi-final on Friday. The head-to-head is 2-love in Carlos Alcaraz favor. So Taylor Fritz has never defeated Carlos Alcaraz. Taylor Fritz has actually never taken 1 set. So and let's see what do I expect from this battle. Carlos Alcaraz, like I said, he's the man to beat. He has been my number 1 favorite when this tournament began, and of course I've not changed my mind now. Carlos Alcaraz, like usual, he becomes better and better the deeper he goes to the tournament. He becomes danger and danger the deeper he goes in the tournament. He's so much more difficult in defeating in semifinals and finals in majors than he is in the first couple of rounds. Even though he goes 5 sets in many majors, Carlos Alcaraz. Like I've said before in my videos, Carlos Alcaraz has all of his 5 Grand Slam titles that he has won. He has played 5 sets in all of them. Never lost one of them. He has won all of his 5 sets in those 5 Grand Slam titles that he has won. But he goes 5 sets because he's not super consistent, super focused from the first ball to the last ball. So he will invite his opponents into the matches, but not that much that he doesn't finish them off when he goes to that 5th set. We all know Carlos Alcaraz 5-set record, 14-1. He has played 15 5 sets when the matches are going to the distance, and he has won 14 out of those 15 matches. Lost only 1, which was against Matteo Berrettini back in 2022 Australian Open 3rd round. All right, Carlos Alcaraz versus Taylor Fritz. They have never faced each other in a Grand Slam tournament. Taylor has never taken a set. So what do I believe will happen in this match? Look, let's be honest here. Taylor Fritz is the heavy underdog here. Taylor Fritz, all respect to Taylor, he's coming to this match with high confidence. He has won 2 grass court tournaments in this grass court season. Both of them are small grass court tournaments, 250 class tournaments. But nevertheless, it is always super great coming into a tournament with tournament wins under your belt. So he has had a great grass court season, Taylor Fritz, to say the least. It is the same thing for Carlos Alcaraz. who won Queens coming into this tournament. Queens was a 500 class tournament. So Carlos Alcaraz has not lost a tennis match since Barcelona, when he lost the final against Holger Rune. After that, he has not lost one tennis match. He didn't play Madrid. He didn't play Madrid, and then he won Rome, and then he won French Open, and then he won Queens. So he's an unbelievable, great winning streak, to say the least. His longest winning streak in his career, Carlos Alcaraz. So how do I see this match? For Taylor, who is a heavy underdog, for me, Carlos is the... Out of these two semifinals that we have on Friday, I'm super confident that Carlos will defeat Taylor Fritz. I will say that right now, right here, Carlos, I think, will defeat Taylor Fritz in 4 sets. I'm giving Taylor 1 set. And the only reason I'm giving Taylor 1 set is because these matches played on grass. They've never faced each other on grass before. It is the first time they're facing each other on grass. Those two encounters that they've faced each other has been on hard court. So I'm giving Taylor 1 set. Even here, I'm not super confident that Taylor will win 1 set. But I think that Taylor can redline for 1 set and just take the racket out of Carlos' hands. And Carlos can have a sloppy service games, and Taylor can break Carlos' serve once. And then Taylor, if he maintains to hold his serve, he can win 1 set. And I'm predicting that Taylor will win 1 set. All right? But not more than so. When I say a match will finish in 4 sets, I'm pretty confident that that player will win that match. And I think that Carlos will win this match 3-1. For Taylor to win this match, he needs to play lights out tennis. Of course, he needs to serve very, very big. Every single rally that goes over five shots, advantage Carlos. Advantage Carlos, advantage Carlos. Taylor will be the heavy underdog every single time the rally is over 5 shots. Taylor needs to finish Carlos Alcaraz fast in short rallies. He needs to serve big, even if he doesn't serve big. I mean, even if he doesn't, of course, he needs to do a lot of first serve percentage in. Of course, that is a given thing. That is not rocket science. So, but that is not enough, because Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner are the greatest serve returners in the world. Period. These two are the greatest serve returners in the world. So Fritz needs to also have great spots on those serves. It is not enough only making them in. Not at all. He needs also to have great spots. So Carlos cannot land heavy, deep returns. So even on the second serves, Taylor needs to play a low percentage of tennis. Because Taylor doesn't have it in him to play high percentage of tennis and win this match. He needs to go big with his first serve, go for the lines, and even go big with his second serves. I'm not saying that he will to go big every time he serves a second serve. No, because if he does that, that is too risky of a game and he will do a lot of double faults. But just even on the second serves, trying to go for the lines, trying to hit those second serves harder. And when the rally is on, he needs to finish the points fast. So-called, he needs to do damage on the 3rd shot, 5th shot. Because over 5 shots, if the rally goes over 5 shots, Carlos Alcaraz will win 8 of 10 points. 8 of 10 points. Because Carlos Alcaraz, let's face it, has a much better shot tolerance game than what Taylor has. Taylor doesn't have better shot. Taylor is not better from base than the Carlos. He's not. And so Taylor needs just to do damage in the short rally lines. Because Carlos Alcaraz's shot tolerance is much better than Taylor Fritz. All right. And then when Carlos is serving, Taylor needs to do damage. Taylor needs to do damage behind his first serve. Period. He needs to do damage behind his first serve. Because Taylor needs to just do more damage behind his. Taylor needs to do great returns. because Carlos will not always land high percentage first serves in. So when Carlos will serve second serves, Taylor needs to go to the baseline, hug the baseline, be aggressive, and just play. How can I say it? He needs to play a low percentage of match here. He cannot do a Zverev match. Zverev plays often high percentage of matches where he's passive, where he massages the ball back, where he doesn't dictate. And of course, Fritz is not Zverev. Fritz plays tennis faster than Zverev. Fritz plays tennis closer to the baseline than Zverev. Fritz is more offensive than Zverev. But in this matchup against Carlos, Fritz needs to be even more offensive than he usually is. He just needs to go out of his comfort zone. Because if he doesn't do that, he will just be smoked. Because Carlos is more powerful than Fritz. Carlos is more faster than Fritz. Carlos has more variation than Fritz. Carlos is more clutcher than Fritz. Carlos is just a much better athlete than Fritz. I don't know what Fritz has better than Carlos. Only the serve. Does Fritz has better forehand than Carlos? No. At least not according to me. Does Fritz has better backhand than Carlos? Absolutely not. Does Fritz has better returns than Carlos? Absolutely not. Is Fritz better at the net than Carlos? Absolutely not. Has Fritz better shot tolerance than Carlos? Absolutely not. So what does Fritz have better than Carlos? Only a serve. Period. That's it. So you see how this matchup is not even close. I always say, not in only sports, not only in tennis, in all sports, numbers never lie. So for Fritz to even have a chance in this matchup, he needs to play lights out tennis. And he needs to begin with the thing that he's better than Carlos. The only thing he's better than Carlos. Serve out of this world. With high percentage of first serves, with great spot serving, and just to be able to protect his serve as much as possible. He just needs to protect that serve. Period. He cannot. His serve must be protected, and when he protects his serve, when he holds his serve, then just go out and attack Carlos service games and just try doing great return games and hoping to break Carlos serve. And if he breaks Carlos serve, then he's definitely have a chance because Taylor has such great serve. So this is not clay, all right, and this is not hard court as well. Grass is one of the fastest surfaces we have on tennis. So even though Taylor has never taken a set from Carlos in 2 previous matches, I think he can take a set here because, like I said before, on grass the skill set is not as obvious like it is on hard courts and especially on clay. On clay, Fritz would not have stand a chance here, and he said that after he won his quarterfinal match. I'm glad that I'm not facing Carlos on clay because we know that. Of course, Fritz knows that as well. He's not stupid. Fritz would not stand a chance against Carlos on clay because on clay, Fritz has so much disadvantage that he has, like I said, he has only a better serve than Carlos. Only a better serve, nothing else. And so he cannot. And the serve on clay, you don't get so much advantage with your serve on clay like you have on grass. So on grass, the skill set just is the better player, which is the case, of course, is Carlos Alcaraz, and the worst player, which is, of course, Fritz here. Fritz can still make this a battle, even though he's a much worse player than Carlos. You know why? Because the surface will help him make this match closer. But for Fritz to win 3 sets, he needs a miracle. He really needs a miracle here for him to win 3 sets. But 1 set he absolutely can take, and I think he will do that. I don't know how Fritz can take 3 sets here. If just Carlos completely collapses. If that is the only way how Fritz can take 3 sets. So I'm not predicting that Fritz will take 3 sets. I think that Carlos Alcaraz will win this semifinal battle in 4 sets and make it to his 3rd consecutive Wimbledon final. All right, enough about that match. Now we go to the second Grand Slam, second Wimbledon semifinal between Novak Djokovic versus Jannik Sinner. Of course, that I'm not surprised at all that we are seeing these two in this semifinal. I predicted that these two will face each other in the semifinal. Jannik Sinner, who is the world number 1 who is just an unbelievable machine, who has become an unbelievable machine the last 18 to 24 months, and who is beating more or less everybody on the tour besides Carlos Alcaraz. Even though he has been unbelievably lucky to be here. He was 2 sets to love down against Grigor Dimitrov in the 1st round. Who knows what would have happened there? But we cannot say for sure that he would have lost against Grigor, even though he was in huge danger in losing that match. But we all know that in Grand Slams, in best of 5 sets, you need to win 3 sets and not 2 sets, because we have seen players coming back from 2 sets to love down. And who is saying that Sinner would have not made that comeback against Grigor Dimitrov? But nevertheless, he was in huge danger in losing that match. But we all know that Grigor Dimitrov is not the most strongest physical player in the world when it comes to health. When it comes in the health standpoint, he has gotten injured in 4 or 5 consecutive Grand Slam tournaments, and he has pulled out in mid tournaments in 4 or 5 consecutive Grand Slam tournaments. So when he injured himself in that 4th round match against Jannik Sinner for the 4th or 5th consecutive Grand Slam tournament, midweight tournament, nobody of us was surprised. Not everybody in the world are super healthy like Djokovic is. Djokovic is 38 years old, and even him is sometimes injured, because you will always get more injured as older you get. But so Grigor so it is normal. So and Grigor is over 30 years old, so he cannot maintain himself healthy. So I was not surprised that he got himself injured, but it was very unfortunate for him to become injured, especially when you're leading 2 sets to love up. I've never seen a tennis player having a lead 2 sets to love up and retire. That was the first ever time I've seen. I've never seen a tennis player being 2 sets to love down in a Grand Slam match and having that luck that his opponent will get injured and he will go through. Never seen that. I saw that for the first time in that Jannik Sinner Grigor Dimitrov match, when the player who was 2 sets to love down went through after his opponent got himself injured. Anyway, and in the quarterfinals, Sinner just not crushed maybe, but he defeated Ben Shelton in straight sets, 7-6, 6-4, 6-4, which I really expected. I thought that Ben Shelton will take 1 set, but now afterwards I regret that why I said Ben will take 1 set. Ben, with those disasters of returns, and especially with that disaster of backhand, how on earth will take 1 set from Sinner? The number just doesn't lie. Sinner has a 5-1 head-to-head record against Ben Shelton before this match, and now he has a 6-1 head-to-head record against Ben Shelton, because you cannot defeat a player like Sinner with only a serve. You need to challenge him more from the baseline. You need to hit through him more from the baseline. You need to be able to play with him back with your backhand. Ben Shelton is a lefty, so how will Ben Shelton be able to hurt Sinner's forehand with his backhand, with his double-handed backhand? No way in hell. So the number doesn't lie. And Sinner did a fabulous match. He barely missed. Man, he did only 17 unforced errors and 33 winners. So he does 16 more winners than unforced errors. He just was. And Ben Shelton said after the match, I've never seen anything like this. The speed of the ball that he has, I've never seen anything like this. So Sinner is just. The result of showing it. Only Alcaraz is beating him. All right? And he will face. And Grigor Dimitrov, maybe. Maybe. So, and now he's facing Novak Djokovic, the 24 times Grand Slam champion, the 7 times Wimbledon champion, the 37 times Grand Slam finalist, the 14-time Wimbledon semi-finalist, the 52 times Grand Slam semi-finalist. You see which kind of an icon, which kind of a legend, which kind of an athlete this Novak Djokovic is. And he's making these runs as 30 freaking 8 years old. He's beating everybody, in majors at least, besides Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner, especially the later one, Jannik Sinner, because Carlos, he's defeating sometimes. He defeated Carlos Alcaraz in the French Open semi-final 2023, and he defeated Carlos Alcaraz in Australian Open quarterfinal 2025. Speaking about only majors now, because we all know that Djokovic defeats Carlos Alcaraz also outside majors. But Sinner has become Novak Djokovic kryptonite the last 18 months. The head-to-head is 5-4 to Jannik Sinner against Novak Djokovic. And actually, Djokovic had a 4-1 lead in the head-to-head against Jannik Sinner. And Sinner has won 4 consecutive matches and has turned around this head-to-head to 5-4. And Sinner has actually won 5 out of last 6 meetings against Novak Djokovic. So Sinner has become a kryptonite for Novak Djokovic. Sinner has not become a kryptonite only against Novak Djokovic. Sinner has become a kryptonite against the entire tour, besides Carlos Alcaraz. They faced each other 2 times at Wimbledon before, 2022 quarterfinal, where Sinner was 2 sets to love up in the lead, but Djokovic turned that match around and won in 5 sets. And 2023 semi-final, where Novak won that match against Jannik Sinner in straight sets. So Sinner has never defeated Carlos Alcaraz on grass. But Novak's biggest problem with Jannik Sinner is that he's not breaking Sinner's serve. They faced each other 2 times in 2024 last year, Australian Open and Shanghai. Novak didn't create one single breakpoint opportunity in those 2 encounters. In particular, if we look those 2 matches that they faced each other last year, all right? Novak didn't face one single breakpoint opportunity in Sinner's serve. Sinner won that Australian Open semi-final last year, 2024, in 4 sets, and then Sinner won that Shanghai final last year in straight sets. Novak didn't create one single breakpoint opportunity, all right? Not that he's not breaking Sinner's serve. He's not even creating breakpoint opportunities. So Novak is not standing a chance in Sinner's serve, all right? If you look a couple of weeks back when they faced each other at French Open semi-final, which a match that Sinner won in straight sets, here Novak at least broke serve. And here at least Novak created breakpoint opportunities. 6 breakpoint opportunities in total Novak created in that semi-final match at French Open a couple of weeks ago. And he finally broke Sinner's serve in 6 breakpoint opportunities. So out of the last 3 matches that they faced each other, and out of the last 9 sets, 4 sets at Australian Open 2024, 2 sets at Shanghai final last year, and 3 sets at French Open a couple of weeks ago. So there we have 9 sets. Out of the last 9 sets that they've played against each other, Sinner and Djokovic, Novak has broken Sinner's serve only once. So this is a huge problem for Djokovic. And why is this? It is simple. Sinner, of course, has improved his serve tremendously. Not only his serve, all right? It doesn't necessarily doing over 20 aces every single match. That is not the case, all right? But Sinner is doing so much damage on that serve plus game. When Sinner is landing that serve, no matter if it's first serve or second serve, if you don't do great returns, and Novak's returns is not as great as it was when he was younger and when he was in his peak of his career. It is not. And that is there Sinner is doing his money. He's doing so much damage behind his first serve against Djokovic. And not only against Djokovic, against everybody on the tour besides Carlos. Even against Carlos, he's doing damage, but not enough damage to win matches, because we all know that Carlos has a 5 consecutive match winning streak against Sinner. So Djokovic needs to have unbelievable returns against Sinner to be able to break him more, which he has not done so much, especially not the last 3 matches they face each other. So Novak, it requires great returning from Novak to be able to take his teeth into Sinner's service games. All right. So because Novak is the heavy underdog here, according to me, not as heavy underdog as Fritz is against Carlos, absolutely not. But for sure, Novak is the underdog here. I don't care that Fritz has never defeated. I'm sorry. I don't care that Sinner has never defeated Djokovic at Wimbledon. Those victories that Djokovic has over Sinner at Wimbledon 2022 and 2023, it was a completely different Jannik Sinner back then. It was completely different. He was not world number 1 back then, and he was not a Grand Slam champion back then. All those things are reality now. He's the world number 1, and he's a multiple Grand Slam winner. And if this was not enough, he has a positive head-to-head record against Djokovic now, and what was the case in those 2 matches when Sinner lost against Djokovic at Wimbledon. So Djokovic, to be able to win this match, he needs to be super sharp in the returning. He really needs to be super sharp. He has not been returned super great against Sinner the last couple of matches that they face each other. He needs to be super great in returns with great depth. And when he has those great returns, he needs to be attacking Sinner a lot. He needs to play a little like Grigor Dimitrov. Even Djokovic here needs to come out of his comfort zone, because from back of the court, Djokovic is not defeating Sinner. Nobody is doing besides Carlos Alcaraz, because Carlos Alcaraz has more power than Djokovic. Carlos Alcaraz has more variation than Djokovic. Carlos Alcaraz is better at the net than Djokovic. Carlos Alcaraz has better returns than Djokovic, at least at the current moment. Not better returns overall, because Djokovic is the greatest serve returner of all time. But Djokovic is not the best returner at this current time. It is Carlos and Sinner who is that. So Djokovic needs to play tennis outside of his comfort zone. He needs to serve really. He needs to return really good. Sinner serve, both first serve, especially second serve. He needs to attack the net more than he does against other opponents. He needs to play some slices sometimes, like Grigor did. He needs to himself serve really good and protect his serve, because Diminaur broke Djokovic's serve 6 times in that 4th round match. Kaboli in the semifinal, Kaboli in the quarterfinal broke Novak's serve 2 times. Okay, and Kecmanovic in the 3rd round broke Novak's serve 1 time. So 6 times Diminaur, 1 time Kecmanovic, and Kaboli 2 times. So Novak has dropped his serve 9 times the last 3 matches. So Novak needs to serve, and Novak has been serving really good, especially as doing a lot of aces. He did a really good match against Kaboli, Novak, even though he lost the first set, 7-6 in the tiebreak, 8-6 in the tiebreak, but won the last 3 ones, and did 13 aces, 2 double faults, landed 70% first serve scene, if I'm not mistaken, really high percentage of first serve scene, and won 75% behind his first serve, won 69% behind his second serve. So he had really good numbers. But it was Kaboli. All respect to Kaboli, but Kaboli is not Sinner. All right? So just Djokovic needs to play light-out tennis. He needs to attack. He needs to hug the baseline. He needs to play some chip and charge, play some slices, serve really big, and serve also. It is not enough only doing a lot of first serve. It is not. You can see that in that semifinal match at French Open. Djokovic landed 71% first serve in that semifinal match in French Open. He had really high percentage of first serves, but he still lost in straight sets. Why? Because he was not finding the spots. And especially, he was not doing damage behind his first serve, because clay will not help Novak's game doing damage behind his first serve. Why? Behind his first serve or second serve. Because Novak doesn't have the firepower a la Sinner, a la Carlos. He just doesn't have. And as slower the surface is, as more damage Novak's games become. Because he doesn't have power like Sinner, like Alcaraz. Nobody on the tour has. Novak is more precise player. Novak is more Has Novak lives on his timing, on his spot serving, on his balance, on his shot tolerance, all of that. Novak has never been a player and known for his amount of big hitting. Novak is not a big hitter, all right? He's not massaging the ball a la Zverev. He's not that kind of player, absolutely not, but he's not hitting the ball as big as Carlos and Sinner. Nobody's doing. So Novak needs to do all those things great. And when he has the chances, because I think Novak will create breakpoint opportunities. I think so. Like he did in the last match in that French Open semi-final, where he created 6 breakpoint opportunities and he took only 1 of them. But he needs to be more clutch. He was not super clutch in that French Open match. But now they're facing each other on grass. So Novak's life will become easier on grass than it was 4 or 5 weeks ago in that French Open match. What does Sinner need to do to win this match? Really nothing. He just needs to play his game, really. Serve really good, like he usually does. Even if Sinner doesn't make a lot of first serve Novak's high percentage of first serves are more important for him than it is for Sinner. Because even if Sinner doesn't make high percentage of first serves, he can take Novak from the baseline. Because at the current moment, both Sinner and Alcaraz are better baseline players than Djokovic. That's it. They are better. And they should be better because they are 15 and 16 younger than Novak. And Sinner and Alcaraz are the alpha hunters of tennis. They have won the last 6 Grand Slam titles together. So Sinner just needs to play his game, play close to the baseline, play fast tennis, play powerful tennis like he usually does, and play consistent tennis like he usually does. Doesn't miss much, even though he has super speed on his ground strokes. Exactly like Ben Shelton said after his quarterfinal match. I've never seen anything like this. A player who hits the ball this fast. I've never seen anything like this. And Ben is right. Another player who hits the ball fast and powerful is Carlos. So Carlos is not hitting the ball soft. Absolutely not. So Carlos and Sinner are the players who are hitting the ball maybe hardest on the entire tour, together with Fritz. Fritz, a French dude, he's hitting the ball also huge. But the difference between Fritz and comparing with Sinner and Carlos, Fritz does a lot of unforced errors. It is not enough only hitting the ball hard. It is not enough. You need to hit the ball hard and place the ball on the court and not on the stands. So anyway, so Sinner just needs to play his game, serve big like he usually does, at least with spot serving, a maneuver and outpower Djokovic from the baseline, which he does. Not having high numbers of unforced errors, which he usually doesn't have, at least not against Djokovic. He does have it against Carlos, because Carlos puts much more pressure towards Sinner than what Djokovic does. So who will win this match? I think that this match will be closer than it was in French Open because of the surface. I think that Djokovic will be able to hold his serve better here on grass what he did on clay. I think that in that French Open match, Sinner broke Novak's serve 3 times out of 9 break push opportunities that Sinner had. So I think that Novak's life will be easier here on grass. The surface will be in his advantage, and when it comes in the movement department, I think Novak moves better than Sinner. I really think so. I think Novak is a better mover than Sinner on grass, but that case is only on grass, not on hard courts. So, and of course, Sinner has the advantage that he's younger, 15 years younger than Djokovic. That is a huge advantage, but it is not because of the age that Sinner will win this match, because I think Sinner will win this match. It is because of his skills. You know what I've said the last couple of months, maybe the last couple of years, at least the last 12 months back. Djokovic has not stopped winning majors because of his age. The age is one reason. Absolutely. The age is one reason. I'm not stupid. We cannot close our eyes for his age. The biggest reason why Djokovic has stopped winning majors the last 24 months, because last time Djokovic won a major was back in 2023 US Open, is because of Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner. And this is my theory is just proven over and over and over again. 2024, Djokovic was stopped from Jannik Sinner in Australian Open semi-final. 2024, Djokovic was stopped from Carlos Alcaraz in Wimbledon final. Okay. 2025, Djokovic lost in the semi-final at Australian Open against Zverev after playing only one set, and then he pulled out because of injury. But if he would have won that match against Zverev, he would have lost against Sinner in the final. I'm pretty confident about that. At French Open, 4 or 5 weeks ago, Djokovic lost against Jannik Sinner in the semi-final. So Djokovic has been losing 3 matches the last 1.5 years against Carlos Alcaraz at Wimbledon last year, final, 2024, and Jannik Sinner at Australian Open 2024, semi-final, and French Open 4 or 5 weeks ago against Jannik Sinner. So he was not young 2024, Novak Djokovic, and he for sure is not younger in this 2025 year. We all know that. Of course, he's older 2025 than he was 2024. And Djokovic is still playing unbelievable good tennis. If you look at Novak's numbers 4 or 5 years ago at Wimbledon, take for example 2019, Novak Djokovic, Wimbledon. Against RBA in that semi-final, Novak won in 4 sets. I remember Novak did 9 aces, 3 double faults. Did 42 winners in that match, 39 unforced. So Novak does 13 more winners than unforced. Great numbers. Really good numbers. In the quarterfinal against Goffin in that 2019 Wimbledon edition, Novak does 3 aces, 3 double faults. Did 15 unforced and 33 winners. 18 more winners than unforced. No, I'm sorry, not 33. No. Against Goffin in the quarterfinal, Novak did 24 winners and 17 unforced. So Novak does 6 more winners than unforced in that quarterfinal match against David Goffin, 2019 Wimbledon. Against Denis Shapovalov, 2021 semi-final, how was his numbers? 33 winners, 15 unforced. A match that Djokovic won in straight sets. 2021 Wimbledon semi-final. He does 18 more winners than unforced in that match against Denis Shapovalov, 2021 semi-final Wimbledon. What is my point with all this? If you look at Novak's numbers now, 4 or 5 years later, 4, 5, 6 years later, because 2019 until 2025 is 6 years. Novak has the same amount of numbers. He may be even doing more aces than he did 5, 6 years ago. He's doing between 15 to 20, 25 more winners than unforced. If you look at the match against Kecmanovic in the 3rd round, Novak did 19 unforced only. 19, yes, and 60 winners. He does 41 more winners than unforced. 41 more winners than unforced in that match against Kecmanovic in the 3rd round. If you look at the match against Flavio Caboli, Novak does 22 unforced and 39 winners. 17 more winners than unforced. 17 more. So what is this showing to us? Novak has the same amount of numbers in winner unforced department than he had 5, 6 years ago at Wimbledon. He's not a worse tennis player now than he was 5, 6 years ago, even though he's 5, 6 years older. I will even say he is actually doing more services now than he did 5-6 years ago at Wimbledon. Look at Novak in the first match here at Wimbledon against Muller. He did 22 aces. 22! That is a lot of aces. So, what is the difference? The difference is that Carlos Alcaraz and Yannick Sinner are just generation talents. They are so much better than David Goffin. They are so much better than RBA. They are so much better than Denis Shapovalov. They are so much better than Matteo Berrettini. They are so much better than Nick Kyrgios. These are just unbelievable tennis players. And that's why Novak Djokovic is losing against them. And that's why Novak Djokovic has lost against them the last 2-3 years in majors. If it wasn't for these two, Novak would have had 27, 28 Grand Slam titles by now. And my theory is not even an opinion. This is actually facts. And that's why I believe that Novak Djokovic will once again lose against Yannick Sinner in that semifinal on Friday. I hope I'm wrong. I always cheer for the GOATs. I always cheer for the big three. I'm a big three fan. Novak Djokovic, Rafa Nadal, Roger Federer. I would love to see Novak Djokovic defeat Yannick Sinner. I really would love to see him. And I really hope I'm wrong in my prediction. I really hope that Novak Djokovic can take it to Yannick Sinner and play an unbelievable match and just defeat Yannick Sinner and give him and win his first match against Yannick Sinner in over 2 years. It is not exactly 2 years because last time Novak Djokovic won against Yannick Sinner was 2023 ATP Tour Finals in Turin. So it is not exactly 2 years, but it's for sure 1.5 year. 1.5 year. So, and just stop these consecutive wins that Sinner has against Djokovic, which is 4. Sinner has 4 consecutive victories against Novak Djokovic. And Sinner has won 5 out of last 6 meetings against Novak Djokovic. So, I would love to see Novak Djokovic prove me wrong. I would love to see Novak Djokovic go to that Wimbledon final. I will be honest with you. I will cheer for Novak. But this is not a video who I want to win. This is a video about who I believe will win. And another thing that why I don't think Novak will win, you can see that in Novak's eyes. When Novak defeated Zverev in that quarterfinal match in French Open a couple of weeks ago, you could see that in his interview afterwards, he was not super confident in his chances. He was not. You can see that when he was talking. Because he's not stupid. He's seeing this. And he's facing these guys. He knows that when I face Sinner and Alcaraz, it is a completely different story when I face these two than when I'm facing other players. Because these two are not they are such great returners that they're taking the teeth into Novak's service games. Neither of the other players are hurting Novak's service games like these two are doing. Neither of other players are challenging Novak from a baseline like these two are doing. Neither of other players are returning Novak's serves like these two are doing. These two are giving Novak Djokovic a hell of a nightmares. And he's seeing this. He's not stupid. And that's why he's not super confident when he's facing them. You can see them you can hear that in his interviews. You guys who saw his interview after he won his quarterfinal match, when they asked him what you're expecting from Sinner, nothing. You can see that he's not super confident. You can hear that. I know how Novak sounds when he wins quarterfinal matches at majors. The job is not done. There's two more left. He's not talking like that. You know why? Because he knows he has 2 huge mountains to climb now. The first one beginning with Sinner. And even if that wins that match, even if he somehow climbs that huge mountain, another huge mountain waits in the final. The task is huge here for Djokovic to overcome. Do I believe he will do that? No. I've said that the last 12 months, Novak Djokovic will never defeat Yannick Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz back-to-back in a major. And I have not changed my mind. I said he can defeat one of them, and he's keep doing that. He defeated Carlos Alcaraz earlier this year at the Australian Open in quarterfinal. But he has never defeated both of them back-to-back to win a Grand Slam title. He has never done that. He has done that outside majors, but he has never done it in a major. And do I believe he will do that as 38 years old? No, I don't. But I would love him to prove me wrong. I would love him to prove me wrong. Because this video has become huge, very, very long. I'm really sorry about that. I believe that Sinner will win this match in 4 sets. I think that Djokovic will take 1 set. But I think that Sinner's power, Sinner's quickness, Sinner's serves, Sinner's returns, Sinner's clutchness, and most especially Sinner's mentality, and Sinner has a advantage in the mentality part here against Novak Djokovic. Sinner believes more in victory than what Djokovic is doing. I can hear that when they're speaking. Novak is not super confident in himself when he's going and facing Jannik Sinner. He's not. So if he wins this Wimbledon, if he wins this Grand Slam title for the 25th time, if he wins Wimbledon for the 8th time, beating Sinner and Alcaraz, because we all know that Alcaraz will defeat Fritz. We all know that. Also, Fritz just doesn't. Fritz is from the 19th generation, from the biggest lost generation we have ever had in tennis. Will Fritz go on and defeat Carlos in the semifinal? No way in hell. All right, because this video is becoming too long. I am predicting Carlos Alcaraz, Jannik Sinner, Wimbledon final, exactly like I did 2 weeks ago, and I'm not changing my mind. I think that Carlos will defeat Taylor Fritz in 4 sets, and I think that Sinner will defeat Novak Djokovic in 4 sets. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, see you next time. Peace.